Okay, good afternoon. I kind of cut the music off on accident, but it looks like we're going to get started here with So we're taking a look at Second Kings. We're going to go into the book of Joel. So, even him and his nurse in the bedchamber from Athaliah, so that he was not slain. And he was with her hid in the house of the Lord 6 years. And Athaliah did reign over the land. And the 7th year, Jehoiada sent and fetched the rulers over hundreds with captains and the guard, and brought them to him in the house of the Lord, and made a covenant with him, and took an oath with him in the house of the Lord, and showed him the king's son. And he commanded them, saying, This is the thing that ye shall do. A third part of you that enter in on the Sabbath shall be keepers of the watch of the king's house, and a third part shall be at the gate of Sur, and a third part at the gate behind the guard. So shall you keep the watch of the house of the Lord, that it be not broken down. The two parts of all you that go forth on the Sabbath, even they shall keep the watch of the house of the Lord about the king. And ye shall compass the king round about, every man with his weapons in his hand. And he that cometh with the ranges, let him be slain. And be ye with the king as he goeth out, and as he cometh in. And the captains over the hundreds did according to all things that Jehoiada the priest commanded. And they took every man his men that were come in the Sabbath with them that should go out on the Sabbath, and came to Jehoiada the priest. And the captains over hundreds did the priests give King David spears and shields that were in the temple of the Lord. And the guard stood, every man with his weapons in his hand, round about the king, from the right corner of the temple to the left corner of the temple, along by the altar in the temple. And he brought forth the king's son, and put the crown upon him, and gave him the testimony. And they made him king, and anointed him, and they clapped their hands, and said, God save the king. And when Athaliah heard the noise of the guard and of the people, she came to the people into the temple of the Lord. And when she looked, behold, the king stood by the pillar, as the manner was, and the princesses and the trumpeters by the king. And all the people of the land rejoiced and blew the trumpets. And Athaliah rent her clothes and cried, Treason, treason. But Jehoiada the priest commanded the captains of the hundreds and the officers of the host, and said unto them, Have her forth without the ranges. Have her forth without the ranges. And him that followeth her kill with the sword. For the priest had said, Let her be slain in the house of the Lord. She's the queen. And they laid their hands on her, and she went by the way, which the horses came unto the king's house. And there was she slain. And Jehoiada made a covenant between the Lord and the king of the people, and they should be the Lord's people, between the king also and the people. And Jehoiada made a covenant between the Lord and the king and the people, that they should be the Lord's people, between the king also and the people. And all the people of the land went into the house of Baal and brake it down. His altars and his image brake they in pieces thoroughly, and slew Mattan, the priest of Baal, before the altars. And the priests anointed altars over the house of the Lord. And he took the rulers over hundreds, and the captains and the guard and all the people of the land, and they brought down the king from the house of the Lord, and came by the way of the gate of the guard to the king's house. And he sat on the throne of the kings, and he took the ruler over hundreds, and the captains and the guard and all the people of the land, and they brought down the king from the house of the Lord, and came by the way of the gate of the guard to the king's house. And he sat upon the throne. And he sat on the throne of the kings. And all the people of the land rejoiced. And the city was in quiet. And they slew Athaliah with a sword beside the king's house. 7 years old. Was Jehoash when he began to reign. I was just going to ask that question. So we see here in 2 Kings chapter 11 that when Athaliah, mother of Ahaziah, excuse me for a second, when Athaliah, the mother of Ahaziah, saw that her son was dead, she arose and destroyed all the royal seed, all his children. But Jehosheba, the daughter of the king of Joram, sister of Ahaziah, took Joash the son of Ahaziah and stole him from among the king's sons, which were slain. And they hid him, even him and his nurse, in the bedchamber from Athaliah, so that he was not slain. The king of their seed. So he is the sister. She is the sister to Joram. Here we are, Jehoram. Jehoram. Ahaziah. Athaliah took over everything as an evil queen. And then Joash. Jehoash. So we're on this side here. We're going to continue 1 second. I need to be right back. 1 second. So very interesting here. We see this boy is 7 years old. And if we take a look at verse 19, and they brought down the king from the house of the Lord and came by the way of the gate of the guard to the king's house. And he sat on the throne of kings. Hmm. And all the people of the land rejoiced, and the city was in quiet. And they slew the evil Athaliah with the sword besides the king, beside the king's house. We see the slew Athaliah. I'm going to let you in on that right now. There's so much to get here out of all these. Let's see. We know this is to so uh when you see the word slew in the Hebrew, you're going to go this direction. That's what it means to slew. And also this means to which be the run through. Does that fit? Does not fit. I'm going to abbreviate that like that to try to get it all in there. They also slew Matan, the priest of Baal, before the altars, and they slew Athaliah. So they're it's kind of running through. So it says the race, right place, wisdom beside the king's house. And using that, you can interpret that. And they brought down the king from the house of the Lord and came by the way of the gate of the guard to the king's house. And he sat on the throne of the kings. And all the people of the land rejoiced, and the city was in quiet. And they slew Athaliah with the sword beside the king's house. the way of the gate of the guard. Hmm. So this is not a professor. So professor would mean rabbi. Rabbi just means professor. So this would be the way of the guard, the way of the gate of the guard. So this is a brought down. They also brought down the king from the house of the Lord and came by the way of the guard to the king's house. And he sat on the throne of the kings. So at this particular time, uh, they brought the king out, but now we're going to take a look at the book of Joel and see what it has to say now. Since we took a second look here at this, I wish we would have done it earlier. But like I said, I'm learning this as I go, and you're getting the interpretation with me as I go along. And so it's really what is here is what's coming out is what's here, and I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. So what's coming out is what we're getting with no filter. There's no chance for me to filter this or have a to set it up in some way. It's just coming out as raw as can be, as it is. So, in taking a look at this here, that they saved the king's seed, and his aunt brought him in, or his brothers, the king's sister, and they, instead of bringing the king up, they brought the king down. Let's take a look at the next chapter. He was only 7 years old, and they put him by the way of the guard of the king's house, and he sat on the throne of the kings. At 7 years old. So the child development. In the 7th year of Jehu, Joash began to reign, and 40 years reigned he in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Zebiah of Beersheba. And Joash did that which was right in the sight of the Lord in all the days wherein Jehoiada the priest instructed him. But the high places were not taken away, and the people still sacrificed the burnt incense in the high places. And Jehoash said to the priest, all the money of the dedicated things that is brought into the house of the Lord, even the money of everyone that passeth the account, the money that every man is set at. There's a setting of the money, and all the money that cometh into every man's heart to bring into the house of the Lord. Let the priests take it to them, every man of his acquaintance, and let them repair the breaches of the house, wheresoever any breach shall be found. And it was so that in the 23rd year of King Jehoash the priest had not repaired the breaches of the house. Then King Jehoash called for Jehoiada the priest and the other priests, and said unto them, Why repair ye not the breaches of the house? Now therefore receive no more money of your acquaintances, but deliver it for the breaches of the house. And the priests consented to receive no more money of the people, neither to repair the breaches of the house. But Jehoiada the priest took a chest and bored a hole in the lid of it, and set it beside the altar, in the right side, as one cometh into the house of the Lord. He took a chest and bored a hole in it, and set it beside the altar on the right side, as one cometh into the house of the Lord. And the priest that kept the door put therein all the money that was brought into the house of the Lord. Let's take a look at that and take a look at that for a second. I'll be right back. Okay, let's continue on here. So we see here that, and the priest consented to receive no more money of the people, neither to repair the breaches of the house. So there's a breach in the house of the Lord. the money that every man is set on, and all the money that cometh into any man's heart to bring unto the house of the Lord. Let the priest take it to them, every man of his acquaintance, and let them repair the breaches of the house, wheresoever any breaches shall be found. When it talks about the breach of the house, we're talking about the sanctity of the house of God, and how the house of God, if I'm going to use this word holy, to God. And I think you know what I'm talking about. That there is a breach that is and it's causing an unholiness in the house of God, and they were supposed to repair this unholiness. But it was so that in the 23rd year of King Joash, the priests had not repaired the breaches of the house. So they were receiving the money for the repairs, but they were still getting in. Then King Joash called for Jehoiada the priest and the other priest and said unto them, Why repair ye not the breaches of the house? Now therefore receive no more money of your acquaintance, but deliver it for the breaches of the house. And the priest consented to receive no more money of the people, neither to repair the breaches of the house. But Jehoiada the priest took a chest and bored a hole in the lid of it, and set it beside the altar on the right side, as one cometh into the house of the Lord. And the priests that kept the door put therein all the money that was brought into the house of the Lord. And it was so, when they saw that there was much money in the chest, that the king's scribe and high priest came up, and they put up in bags. That the king's scribe and the high priest came up, and they put up in bags, and told the money that was found in the house of the Lord. And they gave the money, being told, into the hands of them that did the work, that had the oversight of the house of the Lord, and they laid it out to the carpenters and builders that wrought upon the house of the Lord, and to the masons and hewers of stone, and to buy timber and hew stone to repair the breaches of the house of the Lord, and for all that was laid out of the house to repair it. And all that was laid out for the house to repair it. Howbeit they were not made for the house of the Lord. Howbeit there was not made for the house of the Lord bowls of silver, snuffers, basin, trumpets, and vessels of gold or vessels of silver, of the money that was brought into the house of the Lord. But they gave that to the workmen, and repaired therewith the house of the Lord. Therefore they reckoned not with the men, into whose hand they delivered the money to be bestowed on workmen, for they dealt faithfully. The trespass money and sin money was brought into the house of the Lord. It was the priest. Then Hazael, king of Syria, went up and fought against Goth, and took it. And Hazael set his face to go up to Jerusalem. And Jehoash, king of Judah, took all the hallowed things that Jehoshaphat, Jehoram, Ahaziah, his fathers, king of Judah, had dedicated, and his own hallowed things, and all the gold that was found in treasures of the house of the Lord, and in the king's house, and sent it to Hazael, king of Syria, and he went away from Jerusalem. And the rest of the acts of Joash, all that he did, are they not written in the book of Chronicles of the kings of Judah? And his servants arose and made a conspiracy and slew Joash in the house of Millo. And his servants arose and made a conspiracy and slew Joash in the house of Millo, which goeth down to Silla, which goeth down to Silla. For Jozakarth, the son of Shemeath, and Jerozabad, the son of Shomer, his servants smote him, and he died. And they buried him with his fathers in the city of David. And Amaziah, his son, reigned in his stead. Another incredible chapter. We understand what this means. But they brought the money in, put up in bags, and told the money that was found in the house of the Lord. And there was given to the builders, but did not ask or question where the money went. Albeit there was not made of the house of the Lord bowls of silver, snuff, basins, trumpets, vessels of gold, vessels of silver, of the money that was brought into the house of the Lord. But they gave that to the workmen and repairmen were there with the house of the Lord. Moreover, they reckoned not with the men in whose hand they delivered the money to bestow on workmen, for they dealt faithfully. The priest kept the trespass money and sin money. So the trespass money and sin money was the priests kept that as they've always had. He set his face against Jerusalem, and then Joash gave him everything. Just by setting his face, Joash gave him all the treasures of old. And his servants made a conspiracy and killed Jeroash, in the house of Millo, which goeth down to Silla. So those names are very important. There's the Millo with two L's, and there's Silla with two L's. Chapter 13. In the 3 and 20th year of Joash, the son of Amaziah, king of Judah, Jeroahaz, the son of Jehu, began to reign over Israel and Samaria, and reigned 17 years. And he did that which is evil in the sight of the Lord, and followed the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, which made Israel to sin. He departed not therefrom. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, and he delivered them into the hand of Hazael, king of Syria, and into the hand of Ben-Hadad, the son of Hazael, all their days. And Jeroahaz besought the Lord, and the Lord hearkened unto him. And he saw the oppression of Israel, because the king of Syria oppressed them. And the Lord gave Israel a savior, so that they went out from under the hand of the Syrians. And the children of Israel dwelt in their tents as before time. Nevertheless, they departed not from the sins of the house of Jeroboam, who made Israel sin, but walked therein, and there remained the grove also in Samaria. Neither did he leave the people of Jeroahaz, but 50 horsemen and 10 chariots and 10,000 footmen of the king of Syria had destroyed them, and had made them like the dust of threshing. Now the rest of the acts of Jeroahaz, and all that he did in his might, are they not written in the book of Chronicles of the kings of Israel? Now the rest of the acts of Jeroahaz, and all that he did in his might, are they not written in the book of Chronicles of the king of Israel? And Jeroahaz slept with his fathers, and they burned him in Samaria. And they buried him in Samaria, and Joash and his son reigned in his stead. In the 30th and 7th year of Joash, king of Judah, began Jeroash, the son of Jeroahaz, to reign over Israel and Samaria, and reigned 16 years. And he did that which is evil in the sight of the Lord, and he departed not from all the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin and walk therein. And the rest of the acts of Joaz, and all that he did in his might, wherein he fought against Amaziah, king of Judah, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? So Joash slept with his fathers, and Jeroboam sat upon his throne, and Joash was buried in Samaria with the kings of Israel. Now Elisha was fallen sick of the sickness wherein he died, and Joash the king of Israel came down unto him and wept over his face, and said, O my father, the chariot of Israel and the horsemen thereof. And Elisha said unto him, Take bow and arrows. And he took unto him bow and arrows. And he said to the king of Israel, Put thine hand upon the bow. And he put his hand upon it. And Elisha put his hands upon the king's hands. And he said, Open the window eastward. And he opened it, and Elisha stood. And Elisha said, Shoot. And he shot. And he said, The arrow of the Lord's deliverance, and the arrow of deliverance from Syria. For thou shalt smite the Syrians in Aphek, till thou have consumed them. And he said, Take the arrows. And he took them. And he said unto the king of Israel, Smite upon the ground. And he smote thrice and stayed. And the man of God was wroth with him. And said, Thou shouldst have smitten 5 or 6 times. Then hadst thou smitten Syria, till thou hast consumed it. Whereas now thou shalt smite Syria but thrice. And Elisha died, and they buried him. And the bands of the Moabites invaded the land at the coming in of the year. And it came to pass as they were burying a man that, behold, they spied a band of men, and they cast the man into the sepulchre of Elisha. When the man was let down and touched the bones of Elisha, he revived and stood up on his feet. As they were burying a man that, behold, they spied a band of men, and they cast the man into the sepulchre of Elisha. But Hazael, king of Syria, oppressed Israel all the days of Jehoahaz. And the Lord was gracious unto him, and had compassion on him, and had respect unto them, because of his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and would not destroy them. Neither cast he them from his presence as yet. Hazael, king of Syria, died, and Benhadad, his son, reigned in his stead. And Jehoash, the son of Jehoahaz, took again out of the hand of Benhadad, the son of Hazael, the cities which he had taken out of the hand of Jehoahaz, his father, by war. 3 times did Joash defeat him, and recovered the cities of Israel. Now Elisha was fallen sick of the sickness wherein he died, and Joash, the king of Israel, came down unto him and wept over his face, and said, O my father, the chariot of Israel, and the horsemen thereof. Solomon was running these chariots. Solomon was the one running these chariots. He's saying, shoot east. He said, and shooting east is going to be and he shot and said, the arrow of the Lord's deliverance, and the arrow of the deliverance from Syria. For thou shalt smite the Syrians in Aphek, till thou hast consumed them. Smite upon the ground, and he smote thrice instead. Thou should have smitten 5 or 6. Then hadst thou smitten Syria till thou hast consumed it. Whereas now thou shalt smite Syria but thrice. Hmm. And it came to pass, as they were bearing a man, that, behold, they spied a band of men. And they cast the man into the sepulchre of Elisha, the dead place of Elisha. And when the man was let down and touched the bones of Elisha, he revived and stood up on his feet. We're going to continue with the study. And the Lord gave Israel a savior, so that they went out from under the hand of the Assyrians, and the children of Israel dwelt in their tents as before time. Moses is a person who rescues someone or something from great danger, harm, or total ruin. In a religious context, capitalized as the Savior refers to Jesus Christ as the Redeemer of humanity. And the Lord gave Israel a Savior, so that they went out from under the hand of the Assyrians. And the children of Israel dwelt in their tents as before time. We know what that means. These are three important chapters here. We're taking a look at. So I'm going to ask if you can please donate to one of these. I would appreciate it if you can. So please take a screenshot of that and then donate whenever you have a chance. Oh, you can donate at any time, 24 hours a day. So I'm trying this format out with, instead of reading from the Bible, I'm reading it here online. So I think I'm going to need to get used to this format, but I think I'll be okay. Let's continue. So let's go ahead and go to the book of Joel, the prophet Joel here. Like I'm saying, this is the first time I'm reading it. Let's see what Joel has to say during this time of what happened. It's incredible. Incredible read. Those 3 chapters were amazing. Let's take a look here. My God. We see the guard. That the king was given to the guard. there. Let's work on these 3 chapters, and let's work on the book of Joel here. And the word of the Lord came to Joel, the son of Pethuel. Hear this, ye old men, and give ear, all the inhabitants of the land. Have this been in your days, or even in the days of your fathers? Tell ye your children of it, and let your children tell their children, and their children another generation. Is this similar to Jeremiah? And tell your children of it, and let your children tell their children, and their children another generation. So, is Jeremiah using the same theme? Let's take a look here at the years here. 835, 796. 597, 586. Oh, it's about 200 years there. About 200 years later. That which the palmer worm hath left hath the locust eaten. That which the palmer worm hath left hath the locust eaten, and that which the locust hath left hath the cankerworm eaten, and that which the cankerworm hath left hath the caterpillar eaten. So the breach of the temple. Hear this, ye old men, and give ear, all the inhabitants of the land. Have this been in your days, or even in the days of your fathers? He's talking to here. So I'm going to go blue. The word of the Lord came to Joel, the son of Pethuel. Hear this, ye old men. Hear. Give ear, all the inhabitants of the land. Hear. Have this been in your days? Hear. Or even in the days of your fathers? Hear. Verse 4, concerning the breach of the temple. That which the palmer worm hath left hath the locust eaten, and that which the locust hath left hath the cankerworm eaten, and that which the cankerworm hath left hath the caterpillar eaten. Awake, ye drunkards, and weep and howl, all ye drinkers of wine, because of the new wine, for it is cut off from your mouth. Because of the new wine, for it is cut off from your mouth. Awake, ye drunkards, and weep and howl, all ye drunkards, all ye drinkers of wine. Because of the new wine, for it is cut off from your mouth. For a nation has come up upon my land, strong and without number, whose teeth are the teeth of a lion, and he hath the cheek, and he hath the teeth of a great lion. Whose teeth are the teeth of a lion, and he hath the teeth of a great lion. He hath laid my vine waste. He hath laid my vine waste. Excuse me. Waste. And barked my fig tree. He hath made it clean bare, and cast it away. The branches thereof are made white. Thereof are made white. He hath laid my vine waste, and barked my fig tree. Made it clean bare, and cast it away. The branches thereof are made white. So, lament like a virgin girded with sackcloth for the husband of her youth. Excuse me. Verse 8. Lament like a virgin girded with sackcloth for the husband of her youth. So the girded with sackcloth means that when they gird themselves with sackcloth for the husband of her youth, that her husband has become a lower fruit, and that she is girded with sackcloth as fruit on the ground. Like the sackcloth is what's used for onions, potatoes, other hardy items that can handle sackcloth. So when they put on sackcloth, they say they're fruit of the ground. So she is a virgin on the ground, put in sackcloth. That she is now low in as a sackcloth of onions, a sackcloth of potatoes. The meat offering and the drink offering is cut off from the house of the Lord.